So now my main question. So I'm creating games, and I want to know, is it possible to uh, see this something similar to what I said about languages in a game? So of course there is a period of preparation for next level, some growing difficulty in games between levels, and for me, as for programmer, it is pretty obvious, and I understand how it works. There is a stage of learning, when learning how to play, learning for the game, when persons see some interconnections in game, and about will, and like some motivation about which you said. It also can be in game if player understands and sees goals and like intentions which author, which creator put in his own game, and if his goals and motives are close to players. But what is common between education and game itself? Can game be educational, and can it teach and expand the understanding not of the virtual world, but of the real, this world in which we live, which surrounds us?
Yeah, this is very interesting, because actually, if we look at the history of playing, history of games, as Fedoseev wrote and other researchers, well-known researchers on this topic, the game was the first way of learning. Even if we look at animals and early states, and we will see game everywhere in rituals and etc. So actually, these phenomena are very close in our history, in our human history. But right now we live in the world when we talk about education, we usually think about institutions, not about the process. So we think about school, we think about university, we think about standard exams and online courses, but we do not think about the process of education, because your first question was about process, about the core process of education itself. So I think that if we will think not about institutions, but about process, what education, what learning is actually, we will find that there are so many similarities with games and with playing, because you need your own will and your own goals to have good playing, and also you need this in education, in good education. You need rules, you need frames, as we discussed before, in playing and as well in education. We have some cultural results. We understand culture, we understand cultural things like behavior and methods and way of thinking and etc. In games as well as in education. So I think that if we talk about not just about transferring knowledge, because it's not very big task nowadays with Wikipedia, with internet, with many resources. If we talk about education in terms of ways of thinking, ways of doing, we will find that games are very interesting tool. The very big difference here is about productivity. Usually games are considered as non-productive way of doing. Non-productive, we mean that playing, when we play, we do not produce any useful social product. Usually we produce our own experience. We can transfer it into educational experience and it can be useful for society in a whole, but we do not produce in the game, because when we start thinking about production when we are playing, it probably means that the game is over. We are not playing anymore. The very simple example here is when we look at the massive online role-playing games, and some people in many not very rich countries who play all the day and night to build character and then sell the character to somebody in a richer country. Yeah, I think that they do not play. They just do their hard work many hours a day, and that's why you when you use computer game, this not mean that you always play. You can work inside the virtual world and inside the computer game, and that's why when we talk about games, when we use this term serious games or educational games, we need to understand that there is very significant characteristic of playing is non-productive character of this activity. How to use this non-productive activity in the real world? Because we need to use this in real world because it can help us to build new educational system. It can help us in many things. I think that we need to look at this wider, and we need to look at this as we look at the science, because science actually produces something significant in the world, like new knowledge, new data, etc. But at the same time, if you look at the scientists, we can find that it is free activity, the free search for new questions, unsolved problems, and etc. It's very similar to the player's behavior inside the game, because you act freely, you trying to find something new, and etc. So I think that the humanity already use science as a very significant productive way of doing, and that's why the same can be done with games. When we will think about games as a development institution, as institution of producing new experiences, new ways of thinking, and that's why it's very similar to art, because art usually uses in the same way in the humanity. So that's why I think that the games are actually on the intersection between education, art, science, between different already done institutions, and we need to find this at the same time complex way of doing, and I will say synthetic way of doing, combined from different parts, but at the same time it's a very specific practice, and we need to separate and to clean this field and find the directions when games are cannot be where games cannot be replaced by any other ways of doing, and find the unique ways of applying games. So I think that your work is very interesting here, and you can see the real unsolved problem, and you can direct your research here. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting to hear, and I will think and try to fully understand what you said, because I see that there are some aspects which can really help me during my project work, during creation of my mobile and board games. So thank you very much for want to say it one more time. Thank you very much, and yeah, it was
Thank you. This was
very useful.
a discussion. Yeah, thank you.